Hi, this Visual Basic Job Estimator tutorial I developed earlier. So let me just show you guys how it works. So I will enter maybe Steve right there, Steve King, and the date of birth, and that is that for Steve right there. Steve's address is Kingsway Road. Right. Let's give it a number right there, and we need about 8 meters of copper pipe, 9 meters of chrome pipe, 5 meters of plastic pipe, and 3 hours, and he's traveled actually, let's say 4 miles. The job will take 3 hours and he's traveled 4 miles. So all I just need to do now is if there's a discount for Steve, we can always check that and just click. Supposing there's no discount, okay, so we can also let's click on the add, and that is selected. So let's say we want to enter Steve's data in the system. That's Steve King's 6 meters, 7 meters, 4 meters, 6 hours and 6 miles. Click on total. So to add, all you need to do is click on the save button right there, and that's, you will see all of the information right in there. You see that straight in there. Now for the receipt, it's either you click on this button to take you straight to the receipt right there. That's the receipt, and you can always use your calculator to work out what the value is, and even convert from one currency to the other right there. So you have everything within this very tutorial. So let's say we convert into Kenyan currency, just click on that, that's it. Okay, that's how the system works. So what I will do now is to take you guys straight into Visual Basic Development environment and show you how I've put this tutorial together. It's a bit long, but you can do it. Let's go. Hi, and welcome to Visual Basic Tutorial. I'm going to be creating a new tutorial, and this I'll be calling it Job Estimator. Make sure your window form application is selected though. Alright, and that's my form right there. So I change the size of that form to 1366 by 700 there, and let's change the back color to black. You can just type in black color there, and that is it. So the next thing I will do is to import my database. So if you want to import a database, make sure you go to data, add new data source, next, select new data. I'm not using SQL, so I'm going to change that to access database, and this add data connection pops up. Browse for wherever my database is. I have a couple of databases here. Some of those you guys may still recognize, for those of you who are used to my tutorial. Okay, there we go. I'm going to be using this login system, and right here get rid of username, test my database and make sure it's connected. Yes, it succeeded. Click on OK. Now click on next. This message right here is just telling you that the data will be saved in the project folder. Say yes. Click on next, and I'm just going to select this. If I select it, that means I've selected all of the components in here, in this table, the job table and the login table as well, and just accept that. That's finished. So the next thing I will do is let me get a tab control, one tab control right down here, and the size of that tab control, maybe make it approximately 1300, and maybe this one make that about 200. Okay, that might be a little bit too long though, but for now, if there's any other changes, I'll take care of that as we go along. And the next thing is I need a panel here. Change the color of this panel to, instead of black, let me change it to control so that you guys can see it. The color control is the default color for this Visual Basic program that I'm using really. Alright, let's move this one down here a little bit. And the size of this panel, let's go for maybe 600 plus 650. Yeah, that's fine. Just copy it across. I'm gonna need 2 of those. Click and just hold down the control and copy. That's the second one right there. There, that's good, looking good. So maybe we increase the size of this a little bit more. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, if I run the program right now, this is how my system looks like. Okay, so what I'll do next is let's go back to data source, show data source there. Okay, this very icon right there, I'll click that and just drag it, drop it right in there, and that is it. That's the table right there. Just drag it along. Okay, alright, that's the size of my table. Maybe a little bit too long. Let's reduce it a little bit more. Yeah, about that. Alright, the next thing is to get the details. Let's get the details right there. Select that. If you like, I'm just gonna drag it all. I will speed this up and get back to you guys. Yeah, this is how the interface is looking right now. If I run it, and just to show you guys how it's gonna look, that's how my system will look. I've actually left some space here so that I can add some buttons for most of the operations. So I'll close that. All of these are not needed anyway, so let's close that. So the next thing I'll do is just to add a label here, just up here. Let's add one label right there, and maybe copy that same label. Yes, maybe one here. There's a label here, and there's another one, I think here. Yeah, right there. I think both label. Let me change the color of both label to white. Back color or font color, change that to white. There. Okay, they'll be used as timer and date. Okay, so let's move this very one to the far end. Right there, move it right there. Okay, that's fine. So now double click on the form. Let's get the name of this label first. This one is label 1 and the other one I suppose will be label 2. Okay, maybe we'll just give it a name, LBL time, and the other one will be LBL date. LBL date. Now double click on the form, and right here, this was generated by the table for your information right here. So I'll enter LBL date dot text equals today. There. So that should give me today's date. In the case of time, I would like the time to be a real time, so I might as well enter, let's get a timer. We need a timer for that. There we go. Double click on that. We get our timer right there, and double click on the timer right there. I'm going to enter LBL time dot time equals time string right there, this very one. Okay, I will now go into my form load. That's my form load right there, and just call the timer. Okay, just make the timer start right there. Timer dot start there. So if I run my program, just before running it, let me increase this font size there and select the other one. Let's increase the font size to something a little bit bold. Make that bold 10. That's fine. So let's run the program now. There, what you will notice is today's date and the actual time. Okay, that's about 4 or 4:30. Okay, now the next thing I'll do is to maybe write a line or two for this to generate a random number. Okay, let's come in here. I think I'm going to need a button. Let's get a button. Maybe we should. Let's place the buttons inside a group box. Change the color of that group box. Make it visible. There. And that's where all my buttons that will trigger most of the events will be. So let's come here, get a button there. Let's place a button there. We may have to even change the size of that button, so let's copy it across anyway. We're gonna need a couple of those. How many, I don't know, because I'm just working on it as I go along. So let's change the name of these to BNT exit, right, and change the text content of that to exit there. Now let's enter 1 or 2 lines of code for that. Application.exit. Okay, that's taken care of. The next one here is very button right here. I'm going to call that total, and that will be known as, I'll call that BTN total. Okay, I think maybe I should call this, the next one, BTN play or cancel. That's fine. Also BTN set. Okay, that's for the next one. The next one, the next button, we call that reset. So that will be BTN reset right there. Okay, what else do we need? Okay, this, maybe we should have, let's get rid of this for now. We can always add one more. Okay, those are the buttons I intend to use for now. Let's increase the font size to something a bit readable. Okay, let's go for 20. That's fine. Okay, double click on this very total button, but before then I need the name of this job. So that's job ID text box. That's the name given to it by the data control. So double click on total, place that in there, dot text equals, okay, that'll be equals, let's make that an integer value. So let's go for 32,000 plus, multiply that by rand. So the whole idea is just for this to generate random number for me that I'll use as my customer reference number. So if I click on that, you see this is the customer reference number for this particular customer right there. Okay, the next thing, well, maybe let's just say, yeah, why not, let's come in here, copy this, whatever the reference number might be, it might end up, it can always default back to 0. So say this, let's add 1,000 to it there. So if I run it, let's see what will happen. Generate. So anytime it default to 0, at least we have a value in there. Okay, that's taken care of now. Okay, what I'll do next is to add some let's get some array to take care of all of this material right here. I have 5 of them in place. So go to the form right up here, declare an array.